This is the final presentation for the Real-Time Benefits Check by Team Terra. My name is Thayer Altman, and I will be presenting today. Team Terra consists of Thayer Altman, Evan Snap, Alex Abramov, and Rajesh Joban. UHG is trying to address a problem where health professionals are lacking access to pricing information when they prescribe medications to their patients. Without this information, the clinician is lacking detail to better the patient's financial needs. Understanding the price of generic versus brand name allows the clinician and patient to work together to address this issue. Currently, there are a few options that accomplish this goal. UHG is looking to break into this space by leveraging cutting-edge technology. The goal of our project is to allow a clinician to get immediate pricing information when prescribing a medication through an EHR. This is achieved by leveraging CDS hooks. These hooks provide contextual information about the action taking place within the EHR. In our case, this is the medication prescribe hook. From a high level, the EHR will generate the hook requests containing patient and medication information. Our server will then parse this information and call our pricing provider. Our service will then aggregate this information into a card object that is returned to the EHR. That card is then presented to the clinician. Our CDS service provides a discovery URL and supports the price check hook. When finding pricing information, we use GoodRx. GoodRx is a service that allows tracking prescription drug prices and makes them available to the general public. For a given drug name, GoodRx will return a list of prices that are available in your area as well as generic alternatives for that drug. Available also is fine-grained information about dosing and quantity. This enables the consumer to make an informed decision about what drug to purchase and where to purchase it. Our service will return to the user the best price for the generic and brand name and the pharmacy it is available at. We leverage existing Fire server for patient information. As you can see in the screenshot below, a generic 2 Tylenol is available at Kroger Pharmacy for $2.19, which is a savings of $5.33 over the brand name. Our goal is for this text to be easily understood and for the actions to be clearly defined. From start to finish, our project had a number of challenges. Initially, UHG wanted us to work with the Epic EHR platform. However, that turned out to be impossible because Epic denied us and UHG a developer account for their Orchard platform. As a result of this, we had several discussions with UHG and ultimately decided to pivot this project to not have EHR integration. Initially, UHG wanted to use OptumRx for the prescription drug pricing information. However, there were internal issues with granting us access to their database. To replace OptumRx, UHG made the decision to use GoodRx. We requested an API key to use their APIs. However, we received no response, even after UHG became involved. Despite this, we were able to get information from GoodRx through other means. To do so, we simulate navigating to their page and scrape the return JSON object to get the prices. This solution was the only viable method to get pricing results within the time frame. However, this does have its limitations, as if the response format changes, it will no longer function. For a CDS hook implementation, a discovery endpoint listing implemented hooks is required. We support discovery and currently return price check as our supported hook. The price check hook will be called from the EHR platform via a trigger, such as prescribing a medication. All request response objects utilize the CDS standard JSON format. The screenshot below shows a brief snippet of the returned object for a price check request. In order to test our service, we utilize the CDS Hooks sandbox available at cds-hooks.org. This provides a visual front end and lets you specify an arbitrary Fire and CDS service. Through this front end, we can specify an arbitrary medication and have our backend service call it to do the price check. Our service is wrapped in a Docker container so that it can be easily deployed anywhere. Our server is entirely written in Java, utilizing the Spring framework for web service capabilities. It is currently publicly accessible and hosted on HDAP, but could easily run anywhere. Our code can be built automatically through Jenkins, or it can be built locally via command line or through an IDE. Looking to the future, we wanted to get prices from Blink Health and display them alongside GoodRx's prices. However, this was not possible given the time frame. We would have liked to integrate with a Fire server to return potential drug interactions with the prescribed drug. And finally, once we got access to an EHR, we would like to actually change the medication order based on the clinician's response to the card. This is our final Gantt chart showing our progress through the semester. We were able to follow through on everything except for parts related to the Epic integration. Preparing for our final submission, we've documented our deliverable, validated that our code compiles, and made sure that our Docker container works properly. The full Gantt chart is available at the provided link.
Hi, I'm Lex Abramov, and I'll be presenting the demo of our final deliverable. As mentioned earlier, we utilize the CDS Hook Sandbox as our front-end interface for our service. The sandbox is available at sandbox.cds-hooks.org and is currently shown on the screen. So to start, a Fire server needs to be specified. The server is needed as the data source for patient information, and for this demo, we're going to be using the Smart on Fire Sandbox Fire server and leverage their patient's data. In a deployment scenario, the EHR would use their own Fire server with their own patient data. So I'll begin by inputting the example Fire server URL, clicking next. And then I can select a patient to prescribe medication to. Now I've entered in the sandbox URL and selected an example patient. Clicking on the RxView tab now lets me select medications to prescribe for this particular patient. However, the sandbox is currently pointed to a demo CDS service, and that needs to be switched. This is done by clicking at the gearbox at the top right and inputting our new service URL. So the sandbox managed to find our service URL, and now I can take the last step of disabling the previous demo CDS service and leaving only ours. You should be able to see our new price check hook exposed through select a service with our own HDAP URL. Now at this point, I can begin selecting a medication and our service will provide pricing to it through GoodRx's API. So if I select what I'm treating, I select a medication. You can see the card return below, which contains information for the clinician, such as generic versus brand name price and how much the patient will save. You can also adjust the dosage and the frequency, and this will be reflected. If I select another medication, come through as well.